Hi everyone, it's Steve Braun from the BGB studio. We've been hearing a lot lately from actors who are questioning the very importance of their acting career. They're wondering whether their acting even matters in this day and age. And the idea is this, that in the face of mass incarceration and children being ripped from their families at the southern border and put in cages, laws prohibiting a woman's basic autonomy over her own body, the proliferation of gun violence and white supremacy and misogyny, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. In the face of all that, I have an audition for this guest spot on the CW show. Who cares? Why does that matter when it feels like the whole world's on fire? Well, it's an interesting question, this one of does my acting matter? And it's a question I think every actor should ask themselves. And there's two things that come up in the discussion that I think are problematic. And the first is this. It assumes, if you're saying that it's one or the other, and maybe I should give all this up and go work for Dolores Huerta and be a community organizer, I think what's mistaken about that is that it assumes that I can only pursue an acting career if I have this myopic focus on booking or not booking. A lot of that comes from fear and the agent saying, you can go to that funeral for your family member back in Ohio, but if you do, you might miss some things and I may not love you when you get back, et cetera, et cetera. And so that fear is perpetuated of what if I miss something because opportunities are so rare. And of course, this goes against the very thesis of our studio. We believe that if you have a full, happy, whole artistic life, you're better able to bring to bear your talent in the pressure cooker of these auditions rooms or self-tape or on these sets. You're better able to offer presence and leadership and generosity, this kind of stuff that's required to book work. But the other thing in all this is that it feels like it's a mischaracterization of what acting actually is. And again, this is where actors seem to have this focus because they want it so badly, and I get it, but they have this focus on acting is booking work, working on my auditions, getting my audition technique tuned up so that blah, 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 blah. So that really it comes down to, so I need to book work. And what we believe is that acting is nothing short of the practice of vulnerability, of empathy, of deep listening, being affected and affecting. Said a different way, when an actor prepares for a scene, we believe that that an actor must have a deep understanding and awareness of themselves and the people and the things around them. And from that awareness, have an emotional point of view about themselves and all those things. I like this, I don't like this, it makes me feel this or that way. And from that feeling, take action, have an active pursuit, and be actively pursuing something from one's scene partner in real time, in each moment. Well, those are notions that I believe also change the world. The writer's strike happened somewhere in 2006, 2007. I was pursuing an acting career then, and so nothing was happening. So I started working for the Obama campaign, the first Obama campaign. And the very first training was with this man called Marshall Gans, who was a professor at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. He worked at the Civil Rights Movement and with Cesar Chavez, the Farm Workers Union. He's a rock star community organizer. And what was the first thing that he did? He taught us the power of narrative. This is how you make a community. He taught us to craft our own story of self that was personal and that offered an emotional point of view about an issue or a challenge and a choice that we made and how that choice brought us where we are today. And he taught us how to connect with another human being over shared values so that a community could be created and then that community could speak with one voice. Well, this is the stuff of acting. And it took me 1 second to recognize it because it's stuff that I'd been studying for 15, 20 years. The very same stuff that books you work, walking into some room where you feel like they have their knives out ready to stab you in the heart and offering vulnerability, being affected by the reader and the world of the play, and offering your talent with generosity and leadership, that's the same stuff that is the stuff of creating a community that then speaks with one voice and makes change. They're not separate. I would even take this one step farther and say that I believe it's an actor's and an artist's responsibility to understand their place in society and take action when they have a point of view about something that drives them to take action. It's the same skill. And when you're training it as an actor and you then bring it to bear in your community, it changes your community. When you're in community, knocking on doors and supporting some candidate or some issue, and the industry calls and invites you in to lay down a self-tape, you bring those same qualities to bear that can help you book work. These are qualities of an artist, and when trained, help in so many different ways. So I'm going to put this out to you. We want to know, in this day and age, why does your acting matter? You can comment and tag us at BGB Studio. You can email us, info@BraymondGarciaBraun.com. But this is so important to us because our mission here, and indeed it is a mission, is to create situations in which actors can become their full, whole, happy, artistic selves. And that leads to success in the industry we find, that leads to personal success, and that leads to a better industry with more humanity than perhaps is there now, and a better community, a better country, and a better world. This is not hyperbole. We believe in this so fully. We believe in the power of artists. We want you to tell us why your acting matters.